Afternoon, one and all. Welcome to an impromptu stream. One I didn't expect to do today, but normally we do the draws live. Sure enough, we did. Had a problem with my original recording, and it kind of went wrong at the worst possible time. So I've had to abandon that on the grounds that I didn't think it'd be good enough for YouTube. And I'm going to do a quick live one, 5 or so minutes, maybe a little more, just covering the Europa League draw. United got a bit of a fortunate draw. And to be honest, it's one that I feel they have earned on the basis that they've been good in the last few games, and especially getting through some very difficult opposition in the likes of Sociedad and AC Milan. The tie they've earned was against the tie they've earned, arrive getting to the final with, is against Granada through the quarterfinals. And if a bit of fortune comes our way, we go through to the semis. It's one of either Ajax or Roma. So let me just get this done. As always, this is recorded. It's not live, as I wish it could be. Oh, actually, it is. I can see the counter. But I wish I could have done it earlier on. It would have been nice to have done it live with all of you. And it's a shame that happened. But I had to go and do some non-league interviews for a big team currently in the race for the championship. So it could be a bit of a tricky end to the season, not only for me on a traffic talk level, but on a different level altogether. So let me first fill the ticker, because it's very important I make sure I talk about each of these games one by one and make sure that we don't have any ones missed out. And last but not least, Arsenal versus Slavia. Right, there we go. Whoa, that's not right. That's it. So, good. Sort that out. Add banner. Show that at the bottom. Right there. So, Redman's TV's on. Nice to see you, pal. Yeah, great time. And we've picked a team, in my honest opinion, that we can really beat. I'll be very shocked if we don't achieve it, but all the more the same, I think it's a great draw. It's an essential draw in the case of having a decent team to play in a semi-final. We won't have the pressure in the next couple of games to have to worry about putting our strongest team out. But I wouldn't want to overestimate our opponents in the slightest. They're a decent team. Last season, they finished in the top half of La Liga's, in top of La Liga, I think 7th place to get into the Europa League this season. They had a very competitive group with the likes of Eindhoven and, if I'm not mistaken, Omni and Nicosia were in their group as well. But they did well against Eindhoven and also against Nicosia to get through. The fourth team eludes me, but it was a quality performance from them in the group stage, and I was wishing that we'd get them just on the fact it's a new team. United have never met them in European competition. Obviously, the point in case it is their first season ever in Europe, but they have a decent squad in terms of the level they play at. They've perennially they've been one of those teams that hovers in and out of La Liga time after time, and fortunate that they have been in the last couple of years to have had good league finishes. To have qualified for Europe was a great achievement for them. They've kicked on now this year. Last 32, they took out big hitters Napoli, a side I would have feared in this competition had they gone far. I would also have feared. I think I'd have also feared a little bit if they had not gotten past Mulder, that it would be like, well, what could have been for them. But ultimately, we've earned it on the basis last night Paul Pogba scored the goal off the bench to secure this victory for us, and a great achievement for for United in Italy. A big hitter gone, and especially now, it's really opened up our chances in getting to the last four, sorry, and one step closer to the final in Gdansk. It's the tournament I want to win, so I'm keen on making sure that does happen, and I hope we do get to Gdansk. Whatever it takes, I'll be there if I have to. Fingers crossed, of course, I get to. But yeah, fantastic draw. Our path to the final, obviously, is obstructed by Roma and Ajax. If we get past Granada, as I say, Girona. If we get past Granada, we have a very difficult semi-final, though. It's not to be ignored. Our side of the draw is probably the most difficult, and Ajax cannot be underestimated under any circumstances. They're unbeaten in 22 in straight games, domestically and in Europe. So to meet them, we need to be on our game against a side with such wonderful talent. People will say they're a transitional team, but I think they are classified a European giant because of their history in this competition. They are one-time winners. We did beat them to get to the title in 2017. Roma on the other side have a few of our old friends in Harit Mkhitaryan, Chris Smalling, a few ex-Premier League players there too, Dzeko and Pedro Rodriguez, who play for Chelsea. Those guys are there to add the experience factor for Roma. And Roma have been in this competition a lot in the last few years. They haven't ever gone as far as I think they are capable of going. But realistically, a lot of Italian people will be saying that there is a lot riding on them successfully negotiating this tournament. So they shouldn't be ignored as favourites either. Finally, we have the final itself. I think we'd be the away team because we're in semi-final one. So no matter what, we're not wearing red unless the team that doesn't wear red plays us in the final, should we get there. But incredibly so, if we do get there, we have to go all out. We have 4 games, though, to play before that. But I think a lot of United fans today will feel very confident and very excited about the outcome of today's draw. Much more could be said about our rivals in the Champions League, but credit where credit's due. Ollie and the lads did very well last night, and the reality that it is clear now that this team are, even though people won't say that they are progressing. They are showing a sort of a confidence that we don't often see from a United team, and he's building something for not just this season, hopefully for seasons to come. Whether he's there or not, he's probably played a huge role in United's rebuild in terms of getting a good team sorted, having the backroom staff, and particularly the technical director, footballing director sorted. Now we've had that debate for years. That's been completed, and I think a relief, I'm sure, to many people up there. But we've got some hope, at least for this season, that there is silverware on the cards. We do have another chance in the FA Cup. Let's not ignore that. 3 games to win that competition. We are only 1 more away from Wembley again. And it'd be for one thing for sure, to get to Wembley one more time this season would be good. I think we need that. I think the players need that moment where they can say we have to just get to the arch and hope for the best. But it is completely a lottery. Let me just talk about the other 2 ties before I sign off, because it's not supposed to be a long video. But Zagreb Villarreal, perennial Europa League winner, Unai Emery, 3 times winner with Sevilla. He's back in his competition. However, he may run into his former club Arsenal should they get past the Zagreb team, who did the impossible yesterday and beat Spurs 3-0 thanks to Mirsad Orsic's incredible hat-trick. Fantastic performance from him and well-deserved. In the end, I feel like they did on the night earn the right to qualify for the quarterfinals, and I'm thinking Tottenham really, just as seems they do now, they struggle to handle beating sides when they're under pressure. And to come out, instead of coming out and playing it with the attitude they should have done, they let their opposition grow into the game and paid the penalty. And the inquest is huge at White Hart Lane, and questions of plenty will be asked. But nevertheless, Zagreb, well done to them. Fantastic effort. A friend of the chat a while back was on the show when we did the last 32 draw in December. I'm sure he's happy one way or another. I think those Zagreb are underdogs, dark horses in this tournament. You've got to keep an eye out for them. Villarreal, I could say the same, but it's Spanish teams are present. Just the two left, but still, I think Villarreal under Emery in this competition are a side to be fearful of if you're on the Arsenal side of the draw. Speaking of Arsenal, they'll play Slavia Prague. Obviously, some horrible news last night regarding racial abuse in the game against Rangers, and ultimately he has marred the game on top of the red card from Kemaru, which after high foot, which impaled the goalkeeper. It wasn't pretty at all, and Tamas Kolar, the goalkeeper, had, I think, cuts down this side of his face, this part of his face, and under this eye as well last night. It wasn't pretty. I don't think he would have expected such a thing to happen. And I mean, he's okay, but I think they will be without him for the next couple of weeks. Whether he's fit for their first leg or not, we'll have to wait and see. For Arsenal, though, this is probably for them an ideal tie. While it is a team that have knocked out previously the two British sides in Scotland and in England by Leicester and Rangers, I still wouldn't discount them at all. I think Arsenal have a competitive game on their hands against a side who are good away from home and have demonstrated such by winning on these shores. However, Arsenal themselves are in a sort of a dodgy bit of form. They did lose last night to Olympiacos, again at home in the Europa League, but this time, having done the job in the first leg, they squeezed through. However, they can't afford performances like that in the next one, as it could be difficult for them. But yeah, the path for them: Zagreb, Villarreal, or Arsenal, Sevilla. Oh, so used to talk about having them in it. Arsenal, Slavia, and Zagreb and Villarreal. The winners of that will meet each other. Of those two will meet each other in the semi-finals, and then that is who prospectually United will meet in the final. Should we get past Granada, and then the winners of Ajax and Roma in the semis. So, personal opinion, we have a good draw. We have an opportunity to really stamp our authority in this competition. We are overwhelming favourites now because of the number of big hitters that are out. But the unpredictability of this game will really play a huge role in how this season goes. And we can in no way discount the opposition regardless of who we play. But in terms of Granada, they are European debutants. This is the furthest they've gone ever. It probably will be the biggest moment in the club's history meeting Manchester United. And I'm positive they will know a lot about us, having seen us play against Sociedad and against Milan last time out. They will have a lot of ideas of how we want to play. They are, however, not the most. They have a lot of money. They're not like the perennial big teams in Spain, like the Villarreals, who do have a bit of money on their cards, or have decent talent in their team, for example, or your Atleticos, your Barças, your Real Madrids, all the Sociedads of the Spanish league. They're a bit more of like a community team. They're a strong unit over there. They have a lot of players. They're on the aging side. We have seen on previous occasions Roberto Soldado, who played for England. He did well at Valencia, scored a barrel of goals, came to England, and it didn't work out for him. And then also Jesus Vallejo was on loan at Wolves last season. Didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he was definitely important in their squad runs as they tried to get into those European spots last season. He played in the Europa League as well for them, so he's played a part there. Generally, their team, if we just quickly have a look at it before I sidetrack from it very quickly, I feel like they have earned like a lot of plaudits in Europe for their form recently, and they've got some hope on their side, to be honest. There we go. The Rui Silva's a Portuguese goalkeeper. He's got some talent as well. And I think he's our number one, undoubtedly. They've got 6 goalkeepers there. But they have a relatively, as I said, they're a relatively aging squad. A bit of their defense, or majority of it's over 30. But as I said, Jesus Vallejo is the man to look out for. They have Domingos Duarte in there too. Pepe Sanchez, Nejo, and Perez. He's a centre half, I think. He's right back. So he's not too bad. He's on loan actually from Atletico Madrid. So that's interesting. Interesting thing. His club are not in the tournament, but he is in an interesting plot twist there. Yangel Herrera and Darwin, and I think it's Darwin Machis. There we go. The two Venezuelans they are two hot prospects in Europe. They've scored a few this season in this competition, irony is there is a Manchester City player in Herrera, who is in this team, and he's on loan from the blue side of Manchester on a season-long loan, I think it is. But he's probably going to be important as to how their fortunes go. He's a midfielder, but he can play in the back line as well, so he's got some talent there. Domingos Quina, he's a former Watford player. Let's just look elsewhere. I've talked about Jorge Molina already. He's actually, no, I've touched on him a little bit. Molina's a campaign striker, 39 years old. He scores a lot of goals in Europe. And last season with Getafe, he picked up about 5 goals in the Europa League before they were eliminated. Moved to Granada this season, and he's continued that with a few more this year. Let's just double check on it to make sure I'm not in any way. We go. This season, he scored just the odd goal, but he had a few opportunities last season. I feel like he could have scored more. Roberto Soldado, 35 years old. He's not as expensive. He used to be the £26 million or what Spurs paid for him. Can't be ignored. But he's a key player. Kennedy on loan from Newcastle. He has kicked on a bit at Granada. He's playing at a level which I think is comfortable for him. Antonio Puertas is the under the radar player. He's a right-footed attacker, but he's someone who can play either wing and behind the striker. But his skill is quite unique because he's not someone you expect to sit on the behind the striker very often. He will do what Fernandes does, drift wide a lot. So that's a player to keep an eye on. He's got good ability with both feet and he can score, but he's predominantly an assist king as well. So overall, Granada are a decent team. There's a lot of potential there. And we have a good draw in the Europa League. Hopefully, we'll preview them further as their league form progresses. A lot of, obviously, attention will now be put on them with this tie coming up. They've already had plenty making it through this far in the Europa League. But United, I think, have really got to be favourites for this tie. And fingers crossed they get the job done. That's it from me, everyone. Appreciate if you have just quickly flown in to have a look at my opinion. I wish I could have done it live, but unfortunately, mitigating circumstances meant I couldn't, so at least I could do was jump on and give you my 2 cents on each of the games and about who United are playing against. I mean, as I've said, it's a favourable tie for us. We really needed this opportunity to get some rest into this squad. If the only way that we can do that is by getting a good result in Spain in the first leg in a couple of weeks from now, and then hopefully once we get over that hurdle of doing the job in the first leg, a few players can be rested and we move on to the second with a different approach in the hope that we not only secure our place in the last 4, but all hands on deck for the rest of the season because it looks like top 4 is almost completely secure. Just the cups now. So deep breath. On to Leicester for the last game for the international break. As I said, the preview for that will be live tomorrow. But one of either me or Cam will do that, and we'll be live on this platform to bring you our thoughts on the Leicester game. And then on Sunday, the match review. As the fan review, it's open to all. Anyone can come on. I host these shows. I can take any. I'll take anything of the opinions regarding Manchester United. I'm happy to welcome all people of any kind, any race. Doesn't matter what you are, where you're from. You're more than welcome to talk about United. Opposition fans are too welcome. If you're a Leicester fan as well, please add your 2 cents on the matter when we add the StreamYard link to our tweet on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. Enough from me. Take care, everyone. It's a Friday night. I know it's not the same here in England, but I'm going to just relax this evening and enjoy the fact we are in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League. And, we're in a good position here, guys and girls. Until tomorrow and Sunday, if I don't see you tomorrow, have a lovely weekend and all smiles, baby. Adios.